Very good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here at Kyalami Equestrian Park in this wonderful Peter Mini Arena, as well as you tuning in at home on our live stream. Welcome to this Toyota launch event. We are delighted to be welcoming top riders, judges and officials from across show jumping and dressage to Kyalami Park this evening. As you will have seen on social media, tonight we'll be announcing the outline of the Toyota Equestrian sponsorship for 2025, and we couldn't be more thrilled to be partnering with Toyota once again after a hugely successful Toyota Triple Crown event last year. Our sport requires huge dedication and commitment from all of those involved. And with Toyota's support, we want to spend 2025 recognizing the people who have made and continue to make our sport great, whilst also striving to improve and elevate the disciplines of both show jumping and dressage to new heights in South Africa. Our goals for the sport align perfectly with Toyota's principles of Ikigai, pursuing your purpose, and Kaizen, striving for constant improvement in pursuit of that purpose. It therefore gives me great pleasure to introduce 2025 as Kyalami Park Club's Year of the Legend, brought to you by Toyota. This will be a year where we celebrate all the horses, riders, grooms, officials, volunteers and staff, our legends who make this sport what it is. We'll be looking back at legends of the past, speaking to current legends of the sport, and looking forward to where Toyota's sponsorship can take us in the future. This year, as you have realized, Toyota has expanded their sponsorship once again to include the Olympic discipline of dressage, and we are thrilled to be hosting the Dressage South African Championship here at KPC this year. This event will see a huge prize. Yes, big round of applause. Those are all the dressage riders putting their hands together. Well done, well done. This year we'll see a huge prize from Toyota, the likes of which we've never seen in dressage before, and this will be unveiled shortly. Details of how exactly the prize will be won will be circulated soon. We want to extend a huge thank you to Toyota for expanding the sponsorship in this way in 2025. Their support through the sponsorship will help us to develop and grow this discipline to a new level in South Africa, and that's your cues once again, dressage riders. Put your hands together. Tonight, to unveil our grand dressage prize, we are delighted to have three legends of the sport: Adriaan van Wyk, Karen Keller and Helen LaRosse. We thank these three legends for being with us this evening. We are going to chat to them in a moment or two. And now onto the show jumping. Last year we saw Ronnie Healy and Cornets Mandarino put in a dominant performance to win the Triple Crown, taking home the magnificent Toyota Triple Crown. Put your hands together for last year's winner, Ronnie Healy. It's not going to be so easy this year, Ronnie. This year we have something a little bit different up our sleeves. Toyota fanatics amongst us will no doubt have realized that the legend connection already, as pointed out, we will be unveiling a magnificent prize for the winner of the show jumping Year of the Legend series. And we're back. Thank you, Eskom. Our legends who will unveil the prize this evening include, on my left-hand side, Gail Foxcroft, Tony Lewis and Barry Taylor, three legends of the sport. Thank you, lady and gentlemen, for being with us. In terms of the series, the three shows making it up this year will be the Toyota Easter Festival, the Toyota-sponsored Midrand World Cup Qualifier, and the Toyota South African Derby. Rules and scoring system will be circulated to you all shortly, but suffice to say, as I mentioned earlier, the stakes have been upped for 2025. All that remains before we unveil these unbelievable prizes and spend some more time poring over the old footage, photographs and horses' names laid out on the floor is to thank Toyota, particularly the gentleman on my right-hand side, Mr. Glenn Crompton, Toyota as well for their equestrian commitment to our sport. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Glenn Crompton and Toyota. I'm going to go and have a few words with Glenn. Glenn, let's cast our minds back to 2024, the Toyota Triple Crown Series. What a competition it was, huge amount of excitement built up into that series. It's three events. Started off with the Easter show, then the Derby was where we finished off, and in the middle of that, the South African Championships, dominated by Ronnie. Your thoughts on last year's event, the winner?
I think it couldn't have been a more deserving winner. We got really close to actually seeing the Triple Crown being won again, but little Thomas had a say in it, but it was an amazing competition, and that's fundamentally why we're back this year with more.
This year we're going to mix it up a little bit more. We've got the World Cup featuring in the series. It's still a three-leg series. We start off with the South African Outdoor Grand Prix in the Bob Charter. We then move on to the World Cup qualifier, and then we finish it up with Derby. But this year there are a few differences. We're not going to go into too much detail, but I believe some qualifying rounds will come into play as well for points. So more opportunities for riders to earn points this year.
Yeah, I think it's for us. It's what we want to do is make sure that the competition remains alive right till the end. And the idea this year is, last year, I wouldn't say Ronnie had it sewn up by round 2, but it was a really one-sided event, and obviously he was incredibly successful last year. We want to make sure that this year, that right up until the chance of the last round, that there's someone that's got an opportunity to win this prize. So hopefully the rule changes this year make it just a little bit more exciting and a little bit more competitive.
Like we said, the rules will be published a little bit further down the line. They've obviously got to be ratified and made sure that everything is order. Lots of synergy last year between the Triple Crown and then the Crown motor car. This year, a lot of synergy as well. We're talking about the legends of the past, the legends of present, and not only the riders, but horses, officials, honouring all of those long service in the sport and have done great things. And there's a certain vehicle that may or may not be unveiled shortly that fits in with that.
Yeah, so from a Toyota perspective, we've been fairly successful in South Africa. We've been market leader for 45 years. So in that kind of contribution, the biggest contributor to that was the product, the Hilux. And every 5 years, we have a special edition Hilux, numerically numbered. So this year will be Legend 55. We don't have one here today because it hasn't been built yet. It's still a work in progress. But yeah, to celebrate that sort of longevity, I mean, a product that's now 55 years in the market, we think there's no better match to support that with the legends of equestrian sport, where people have been around for so long.
Now, there are another few exciting points that we want to talk about. Your mandate really is to grow equestrian sport as the sponsor. That's really what you want to do. You're passionate about equestrian sport, and you really want to see it go to the next level. A lot of that has to do with taking it to the masses. We've got live streaming on the go, but something different that you're adding as well. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so one of the objectives, as you say, is to make sure that as an Olympic sport, as an Olympic discipline, equestrian sport is obviously, I think, a little bit underrepresented in South Africa. Obviously, we're a rugby nation, and that's the big sport, and also a football nation. I don't know that we'll ever get equestrian to that level, but we're going to make it our best effort to level it up and give it the place that it deserves based on the experience that is required in the sport. So we are working behind the scenes with SuperSport to see, at least if this year, if we can get at least one of the major events. Obviously, our goal would be something like the Derby and have that broadcast on SuperSport. So it's not a done deal yet, and we're working really hard to get that done.
Big round of applause for Toyota. So exciting things taking our sport to the masses. Now, there's a certain lady here who's looking very ripped, very toned, very strong. Been spending lots and lots of hours in the gym. She's partaking in the Toyota Fortuna Challenge. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so Fortuna Challenge is a competition, an annual competition we have, where we have 4 members of the public and 4 what we describe as heroes. So these are 4 people that are leaders in their sport, and we team them up together, and the winner over a sort of a short competition walks away with a brand new Fortuna. So again, to try and make sure that the sport is getting that equal airplay. To put it in perspective, the other heroes is a football player, a rugby player, and a racing car driver. So the sponsorships, the big sponsorships that we support, we believe Equestrian is right up there with it, and we've added an equestrian rider to that group.
And there's a lot of marketing going on around this competition, so that's going to be in all the news as well. So we'd like to say a very good luck, go well, Nicole, and all the very best. Give her your support. And once again, big ups to Toyota for getting Nicole involved in there, and again, taking equestrian sport to the masses. And then, Glenn, I believe you were overseas December time, and you took a trip to Olympia, and you were made to go and watch some, whether you were dragged off or whether you wanted to be there, go and watch some dressage at Olympia. And you came up with a few ideas that Toyota would like to get behind in Dressage South Africa as well.
Yeah, so from a layperson's perspective, I'm not a rider. One of the things that obviously is engaging about the show jumping experience is that it's a very involved experience where you can see, based on the times, based on the jumps, how the people are doing during the event. I found with dressage that it's a little bit more difficult to be as engaged because the scores are collected separately. And what we experienced when we were at the London show was they have an app that is available for the crowds to participate and for the crowds to actually see what's happening virtually live. So as the judges are scoring each round, you get a sense of what the score is. And I think it really made the show a lot more inclusive for the spectators. And as a layperson, I mean, I was able to guess within a few percentage points what the professionals were. So I think it really did find it extremely engaging for the sport. So when I came back here, I decided to reach out to one of our IT companies and see if they could build something similar for dressage in South Africa. So they're busy building an app that hopefully we'll trial during the course of this year that will really bring the sport more to the people that are watching so that we can build up a crowd as big for dressage as that we have for show jumping.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. So onward and forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be chatting to Mr. Crompton a little bit more later on. We're going to move on now. Thank you, sir. We're going to ask one of our, let's start with Karen Keller. Put your hands together for dressage legend, Karen Keller. Karen, you riding much these days?
A lot, yes, still a lot, but not competing.
Why not, may I ask?
It's just expensive. I'm giving back, doing a lot of teaching, riding other people's horses, but working on my retirement plan.
You have been there, done that, won pretty much everything there is to win in dressage at top level. You've always been involved with the Lipizzaners as well. Highlights of your career?
I think the Curves, especially, they were always much more exciting. There was more atmosphere, more spectators. So I think the Curves were a highlight, putting them together and real crowd pleaser. But yeah, it was fun. It was much more relaxed and enjoyed that.
A sponsorship like this for SA Champs, Toyota being involved, a big prize that we're about to unveil, what does that do for the sport of dressage?
It's huge. It's huge. We welcome it so much. It's a bunch of hardcore, dedicated riders. The fame is not so easy to gain in dressage as it is in the exciting sports like eventing and show jumping. But it doesn't take away from the passion and the effort we put in. And it is really nice to be thought of. And yeah, it's a good feeling that someone wants to back us. It's fantastic.
Maybe worthwhile coming out of retirement for SA Champs
I might just do that.
with what's about to be unveiled. Put your hands together, please, Karen Keller. Right, Helen LaRosse, come and have a chat to us. I said to Karen, she's been there, done that. So too have you. Many highlights in your career. Could you pick one out, a very special moment, or are there just too many?
No, there are a lot, but I really loved winning the Derby, dressage side of the Derby, which I won 8 times. And then also the FEI, where international judges came out to judge. Yes. And just helped get us even more interested in loving the sport more and more.
I'm going to ask you the same question. A sponsorship like this, Toyota coming in, big prizes up for grabs, just taking us up a few pegs in an SA Champs. What does that mean to you? What do you think that means to your pupils and riders out there? Will they be trying that little bit extra in their preparation?
Definitely. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's the greatest thing that will ever happen to us, yeah. I think, anyway.
Well done, wonderful chatting, and well done. Will we be seeing you back in the saddle? You are still competing, or you're looking for a horse?
Yeah, my horse has got injured, and I'm not riding at the moment, but I'm riding pupils' horses, so same situation as Karen.
Fantastic. Look forward to seeing you back in the ring. Put your hands together, please, for Helen, as I'm going to ask Adrian to come in. Where have you been? You've been hiding away, have you not? Have you relocated?
Yeah, I decided to move to Cape Town a little bit, just to relax a bit for a while.
Are you relaxing, though, because you took the string of Lipizzanas and you relocated them? How's that going, may I ask?
It's going well. I mean, Cape Town is slow. So, I mean, it's lovely, but it's slow. And, I mean, they're starting now to get a name there. We actually got a new tour groups in. So, yeah, they're doing well.
In good shape?
Yeah, actually they are. Nice little team, still young riders. I don't have older ones. Still try and get Cara in there again. But it's got a good purpose now, the Lipizzanas. It's bringing up a lot of young riders.
Right, so your career, another one that's been a big career, lots of highs. You've ridden overseas as well. Can you point out any highlights for me and things that if you could do again, would you do anything differently?
Look, I've been very fortunate. I mean, I could go overseas and ride, and I think in South Africa as well. I was always lucky to have, I think, nice horses. I mean, they did very well. Yeah, it's difficult to say. I think the Sunshine Tour I did it twice. It was really very nice. South Africa as well. I was fortunate to win SA Champs. I always loved the Derby. Yeah, and I'm still competing. I mean, I actually just bought another horse overseas now a week ago. So yes, we still keep going.
Dressage in South Africa, Adrian, obviously these sponsorships help a lot. Are we in a good place? If you could take us, what would be the next step? Where do you see dressage where we are now, and where would you like to see it go? 5-year plan.
Look, when I heard about this, I think it's wonderful. Because I think, especially for the youngsters, I mean, it will give them a goal that at least dressage is part of the bigger picture as well. And I think it will really help dressage as well to build more from the bottom up, and not just for the top people.
Fantastic stuff. Right, so all that remains on the dressage front, we're going to ask you two ladies and gentlemen to come and do the big unveil. So like we said, South African Dressage Champs in 2025 will be hosted by KPC. How do you win? That's on your minds right now. What's under this black cape? Well, all that will be revealed in the press, exactly how to make yourself get in the running to win what's under or behind door number 1. Should we do the big reveal? Right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Toyota Starlet Cross, which will be awarded to some well-deserving and lucky rider at the Toyota-sponsored South African Dressage Championships, which will happen here at Kyalami Park Club in September. What a wonderful, wonderful prize. First time in South Africa, a prize of this kind on offer in dressage. So once again, put your hands together. Big round of applause for Toyota. That's the prize on offer, the Starlet Cross. And as we said, more details about how to win, how to put yourself in the running for that prize will be in social media and the press in a little while. So we are now going to turn our attention back to the show jumping. We've got another prize to be revealed here, but let's chat to our legends of show jumping before we go there. Who's first? Tony Lewis. Let's do it by age. Age before beauty. Come on here, Tony. How are you, sir?
I'm will.
Excellent. Right, Tony, a legend of the sport. We were watching those pictures on the screen, and there you featured Take a Chance, Talisman, Young Jongleur, Lightning Trail. Did you have a favorite?
Oh, they were all lovely, huh? They were so different horses, very, very different horses, but all have their own characteristics, and I love them all. So to say that I've got a favourite, I guess Take a Chance.
You won the Derby and Take a Chance, some South African Championship wins, some overseas visits. You started off as a junior going overseas where they had to put your horses on ship, did you not?
Do you actually want to hear about that?
Give us the Reader's Digest version, Tony.
Oh dear, that was 1958. Can you believe that? We took the horses by train to Cape Town and then put them on the Carnarvon Castle, 2 weeks to Southampton with the horses, and then we were invited, got special dispensation from the FEI for the South Africans to take part in the junior European Junior Championship, and we were second. Second with 3 thoroughbreds and a half-bred hackney, which Gonda had. It was a wonderful horse called Gunga Din. And the enormous German horses, and we were in second place by 4 faults.
And then, Tony, coming back to local shores, the international, you were a big part of that, the indoor show where you had a South African team up against teams from overseas, and you guys were undefeated for 9 years running.
9 years running. We were never beaten. And the team, it changed once, I think, when unfortunately they took Peter Gotts out, and they put me in. But otherwise, we were unbeaten. That was Gonda, myself, Mickey, and Philip Smith. And we had the best teams that we could get here, and they were some really top prizes there. We've had Skelton, we've had Whittaker, we've had Harvey, we've had David Broom, we've had all the Germans and the Americans. All came out on different years. We all were on equally amounted horses because we hired horses into the group and were allocated amongst us, and we managed to win it 9 years in a row. But it was tough times. One time they held the news back on television, because that was when television started in the middle of that. We're talking about 1970 to 1980 then. It was after 3 rounds, there was two teams tying. That was ourselves and the Brits, and we beat them in the jump off.
And of course, you were hugely instrumental behind the scenes of that event, and of course, were involved in administration of the sport in various roles, capacities for many, many years.
Look, I've been involved because I had a father that said to me, "Hey, you just don't take. You got to give back. You know, you got to give." And right from the start, I've always been on committees, so I've been right through the ringer a few times. But I've enjoyed it, and that indoor show, I'm sorry we don't have that indoor show now, because that was the show piece of our sport at that stage, because we had all the disciplines there, not just show jumping. We had carriage driving, hacks, showing horses, kids, adults, and it ran all day, and the big event was at night, and it was a huge success. It was a big showpiece for the sport, and I'm sorry we don't have it today. Unfortunately, it came to an end because of the sports ban, and we couldn't get the overseas riders to come out.
Well, you're a man of means, Tony. Get behind the scenes again and make it happen.
The time has come.
Yeah. Listen, never say never. Yeah. Before I let you go, highlights of your career, could you pick out a favorite moment?
I think, I start off with, I said Take a Chance. Take a Chance won the Derby for me in 1973, and that got me into the South African team. That win, and he has a special place in my heart.
Big round of applause for Tony Lewis. Gail Foxcroft, come front and centre, Gail. Did you enjoy the pictures on the big screen of By and By and Lindenberg? Lots of big time horses in your career for many years. Favourites?
If you ask what the highlights of my career have been, been the
Too many.
No, the wonderful horses I've been privileged to ride and have. Yeah, I can't say I've got a favourite. By and by was just spectacular. Barry and Tony and I were just talking just now and saying, you know, those horses today, how would they feature? And you know, as Barry said, a great horse is a great horse in any era. And those were great horses. We all had fantastic horses, and we still have.
You're still going? I'm going to bring Toyota in here. The motivation back with a sponsor like, because I know you love your time in the bush and going away on your exotic walks and all this kind of thing. The horses aren't taking a back seat, not just yet, are they? You're still motivated, you're still hungry, and with a sponsor like Toyota coming in, throwing in this wonderful vehicle that's about to be revealed, because I've seen the tow vehicle that you're still driving around, Gail. There's work to be done here.
I've got Lucy the Land Rover. There's no work to be done there. It's fantastic, Toyota. It's wonderful to have them back. And I mean, this is absolutely spectacular. What more could any rider want than to have this kind of thing to aim for? We haven't had sort of such a big thing for many years now. And I think everyone is so excited about it.
Fantastic. I'm going to go back to your horses and your riding career, because you also rode overseas and you went to represent South Africa with Time to Dance. Tell us a little bit about that.
Time to Dance was a wonderful mare. Quirky, but really good. And I mean, it was a fantastic experience. I crashed and burned, but it was still a fantastic experience and lovely to be able to do that. And yeah, she was just a wonderful mare.
Quality of the sport in South Africa at the moment, you've seen it grow over the years. The breed has changed, the horsepower has changed, the technicality of the courses has changed. Where are we now as a sport?
Sure, I think we're right at the top. There are such amazing riders, young riders, older riders. The horses are spectacular. I mean, if you see the depth that we have now, I think the sport has never been healthier than it is now.
Fun times ahead, Gail. Go home, work hard. It's on offer.
As I always do.
Gail Foxcroft. Right, Barry Taylor. Right, ladies and gentlemen, they are legends of the sport. Going through all these tapes and all this footage and compiling, you forget how many good horses, good riders there were out there, there are out there. But a few of them stand out, Barry, because I got hold of your CV. And it took me about 3 hours just to read through all your accomplishments. It's absolutely incredible. I'm not going to go through all of them now because honestly we'll be here for a long time, but it's unbelievable. You forget. Do you remember how much you've won and what you've achieved in the sport?
I've been doing this a long time, Aidan. Crashed and burnt and learnt. But no, I just, to be honest with you, I've been lucky. I don't know, I was born in the sport and I made a career out of it. I remember leaving Kimberley at 17 and my mother said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to be a horse rider." She said, "Well, here's a bakkie and a 2-berth and 2 horses," and off I went. Landed up at Fran Laren, and after the first month I couldn't pay my rent. Well, Lynn McLaren said, "You know, you need to pay your 250 Rand rent." I said, "What's rent?" She said, "No, you have to pay to be here." So I phoned my mom, who was down in Kimberley. She said, "No." She said, "Okay, I'm paying it this month, but from next month you're on your own." Anyway, I started horse dealing, and that's how I got into it. But I was lucky enough then to have the greatest horse I ever had in my life, was Powerforce. He kept me alive. He taught me, I mean, I knew nothing. I was just a rider, technically and etc. He taught me everything. He was a great horse. The best one I ever had in my life.
It's incredible you say that, Barry. We saw some pictures on the screen of you and you know, that amazing recovery through that double of gates. Not a lot of horses would, when you press the button, when you were hanging off the side, would have gone. But of course he was a thoroughbred, and over the years you've ridden these top class warm bloods, and yet you still go back to that little thoroughbred Powerforce. Because he how big was he? I mean, it's just incredible that you still call him the best.
Yeah, he was just, like we were talking earlier, he was a genius. I mean, if I think of how badly I rode then and still won what I won against the greats, I mean, then you're talking Tony and Gonda, Mickey Lowe, people that most people you have never seen ride. Mickey Lowe, probably with Gonda the two greatest that we've ever had. And I happened to win. If I watch those videos now, I don't know how, but I did. It was 80% him and 20% me. Now with what I've got now, it's got to be 80% me, and I've got a 20% horse. But I've been lucky, you know. I was then lucky to get a horse called 30 something from Ken Roosevelt, who took him overseas for me, and I won the British Gentleman's Championship at the Royal Windsor Horse Show, which to me was my greatest. Nick Skelton was second, John Whittaker third, and Jeff Billington fourth. It's probably my greatest day of show jumping. But everything, from a rider's point of view, you need horsepower. It doesn't matter. And today, when I go to shows, I love watching horses jump, and I watch the big classes, and I see the riders we've got in the country in South Africa today, the young riders, and the horsepower. I mean, the horses today are absolutely fantastic. And then the other most important thing is sponsorship. And we come to Toyota. I have quite a few clients who are big in corporate, and they say to get a company like Toyota in your sport, you know how lucky you are, because they're bigger sports and in South Africa that can't get big corporates like this. So to them, it's like it's so thankful, and to have this Triple Crown or however they're going to do it, it's such a big thing, and it creates a buzz which we need in the sport.
The year of the legends. You are one, Barry. Before I let you go, where are you in your career? Because you are still riding. Are you still as hungry? Are you still aiming for World Cups, derbies? Will you see yourself in the reckoning this year for this ultimate prize?
No, listen, I know exactly where I am. I think on a particular day, I could possibly ride with them, and I love, when I do win a class, I love to give these youngsters a bit of a ribbing. Don't think you're so good anymore. But it's my priority is Loretta, obviously, and Ashley. And I love riding. I love being part of it. I've got some lovely horses, and I'll produce them, and who knows, I might get a 150 horse again, and then I'll ride there, but it's not the be-all and end-all of my life. But I love being part of the sport and doing it. I love being here. Today we rode on the Bob Charter for the first time since the Derby, and I rode in there. It was like old times.
Awesome. Big round of applause for legendary show jumper, Barry. Yes, Tony.
I'm just listening to all of this and going back in my history of stuff, and I don't think we realise, or we do today, but I didn't realise what a wonderful guy this Glenn is that we've got from Toyota. Let me say to you that my history of Toyota goes back to the 70s when Toyota were big in the sport. Dr. Albert Wessels, who got the original franchise from Japan and started Toyota, would be so proud of Glenn to see what he's doing here today for the sport. That it makes my heart fantastic.
Well said, Tony. And I believe you're still driving that Toyota you had in the 70s. That's how durable they are. Right, we're going to do the big reveal here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move out the way. So once again, before we do that, it's on a point series. Again, last year was the Triple Crown. This is the year of the legends. Instead of South African Championships, we now have the World Cup qualifier. We're throwing in a few more qualifiers as points where you will be able to get points. A few of the rules have changed, so it's not going to be this easy this year. More opportunity for you to get there. Right, on three, the big reveal, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. Let's peel back the curtain, and that there is the wonderful vehicle, the Toyota Hilux Legend, ladies and gentlemen, that will be up for grabs to the winner of the series, the Year of the Legends here at KPC in 2025. So what two spectacular vehicles, the Toyota Hilux Legend and of course the Toyota Starlet Cross. I'm going to turn my attention here back to Mr. Crompton, and you can tell us a little bit more about these vehicles. Let's start with the Starlet first.
So the Starlet we introduced last year, and you'll struggle to get one at a dealership. They are sold out for quite some time to come. That's why we chose this particular vehicle, because we think it's really reflective of the dynamic elements of dressage. So yeah, it's a great product for the winner.
Awesome. And now we turn our attention to the Toyota Hilux Legend. Glenn, this is one of your biggest sellers, I think. This has been around for a while, the Hilux, which it's not a Bucky, Glenn. It's a Hilux.
That's for sure. So yeah, last year we gave away the crown, which obviously symbolized with the triple crown. But I think from an equestrian perspective, this is probably the most suitable product for any winner. And I'm looking at Ronnie and hoping that has 2 Toyotas in his garage come the end of the year.
And if I may ask, if you went and bought that out the box, what sort of price tag does that come with in 2025?
It's quite a lot.
So well worth working for. Big round of applause once again. You three can get out of the rain. So riders, ladies and gentlemen, then let's just get some photo opportunities with Mr. Glenn Crompton, and while they are taking photos, we're going to do a little bit of a wrap here for Equestrian Live. So don't forget that the show jumping is over 3 legs. The first leg will be at the Easter Festival. That's from the 12th to the 21st of April. The Outdoor Grand Prix of South Africa. That's where you can get all your points for the first leg. We then move on to the now Toyota-sponsored World Cup qualifier. That's from the 15th to the 18th of May. And then the final leg in that 3-leg Legend Series will be the South African Derby. And that's from the 1st to the 5th of October 2025. And then, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the second car on offer, the Toyota Starlet Cross. That'll be on offer to the winner at the South African Dressage Championships, as we want to get a look at these 2 wonderful, wonderful cars. The South African Dressage Championships happens in September. So lots to play for. Do stay tuned. As you heard, exciting news. Hopefully one or all of those events will be broadcast on Supersport. From all of us here at Kyalami Equestrian Park, from the Toyota Legends Series launch, that's a wrap. Until we see you at the Outdoor Grand Prix of South Africa at the Easter Show, take care. Goodbye from us.
Opa made you a Bucky.
It's not a Bucky. It's a Hilux.
My lunch's dinner's cancelled. Aww. Aww.
The all-new Toyota Starlet Cross. Own it.